Joe. How are you? Trucker Steve, what's up? Dennis, Big Rich, Harmon, what's up? Harold, picking up the SFI truck at the end of October. Cool, Dennis. Congratulations. Good evening, TJ. Mr. Buck Wild, how are you? You're at Iowa 80 going broke. Be careful there. Kevin, what's up? Have you done any more, I don't think you've done any more GoPros with your dog, have you? Still sitting in Salt Lake City. I used to go to Salt Lake City all the time. I would pick up loads in Kansas City and take it down there. Did you get through Chattanooga okay, Greg? Hey, Greg, I appreciate that. I got through there right at 3. Hey, Daniel, I haven't forgot about your wrench. I haven't been on the laptop yet. But anyways, tomorrow, I think it's just the eastbound side that's closed, but I was burned out on traffic today, man. Traffic was bad, dude. I was reminded why I don't go to Atlanta anymore. But here's the thing. I did a video about how you got to go outside of your box, and you got to sometimes do what's uncomfortable. You got to get kind of out of your groove. And I said, it was the best paying load, little deadhead, so I did it. And you got to sharpen them trucking skills. If you do the same 2 runs and it's easy, you get too complacent. So it was good to do. It felt good, man, because really the worst traffic was inside of Atlanta on 285. And I'd already been to Atlanta OC before, but it'd been a while, but I'm not impressed with that place at all. Had to really watch my truck where I was parked. Yeah, I know, Daniel, you don't have your wrench yet. Like I said, I'll get it on the laptop. Kevin says, no, not yet. Played around a bit with it at home, going to get an actual GoPro dog harness. Oh, I didn't know they... GoPro makes everything, don't they? Hey, Celtic Barb, what's up? Stu, what's up? You uploaded 2 videos a while ago. Oh, cool. I'll have to check them out. Big Rich says I-85 is a nightmare. Atlanta, all of South Carolina, and then Charlotte. Yeah, dude, it was backed up. I mean, it's more, dude, I used to go through Atlanta all the time, and it was like, it was bad, and it's like, I would almost prefer Chicago over Atlanta at this point. I mean, it really kind of took me by surprise. Everybody's like, you get on the CB and they're like, oh, what's this backup? You're in Atlanta, hello. That's what everybody kept saying. Pale Rider says, I'm at the Petro in Atlanta. Yeah, Pale Rider, I will stop there. But once I saw the traffic on Google, I decided to soldier on, and I got to the 318. Another Wilco Hess bought out by Pilot. This one ain't as bad though. They're remodeling all of it inside. Greg says, I drive a triaxle dump working on the interstate in Chattanooga every day. So can I get westbound through there tomorrow, Greg? Because that's what I need to do. Atlanta OC is tight, says Kevin. Yeah, it's I was parked, like, Christian Trucker told me the best place to park, and it worked out really well. However, the Schneider Company guy, and it's going to be on my next vlog, he parked like he was this way from me, and so he was, I had to ask him to move so I can get out. He couldn't park his truck. That's the 3rd company driver I've come across here in the last week that couldn't park their truck. So kind of wonder if Schneider's training is going downhill. Sorry you don't feel good, Celtic Barb. Yeah, Big Rich says Atlanta's 0200 or traffic. Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. I figured if I go through Chattanooga, it'll be like at 5 in the morning. TJ says Atlanta is a night. Yeah, see, that's... When I used to run Atlanta all the time, I would try to shut down by 5 or 6 p.m., like north, like where I'm at now at 318 or the 328, or sometimes Adairsville, and then I would roll in there at 4 in the morning, get to Macon by 8. So that's what I used to do. I used to do the Macon run all the time. A half-inch wrench run? Sure. Can you use the GoPro for YouTube Live? No. Sun Chaser in Atlanta tonight, waiting until 3 a.m. to roll out. That's a good idea because, dude, it was gridlocked. Both sides. Hell, it started to get gridlocked like between Macon and Atlanta. Like, I was 40 miles from the split and it was already backing up. Were you the one that yelled at me? Someone shouted at me at the CB on the CB radio. I don't know who it was. I couldn't hear what they say. Who they said they were. Big Rich says pilot bought out the entire chain. Yeah, this one's not as busy though. I think the reason being is because there's all these other pilots nearby. You got 2 in Dalton, and then I thought there was a Flying J in this area, but I guess I was wrong. Then you got the one in Cartersville. Kevin, ooh, catch the replay. The Exorcist TV series is starting. All right, Kevin. I see where I stand with you. I wouldn't watch me either. Yeah, best time is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. You can sail through. Okay, good. So the westbound side's open. Celtic Barb, that's okay. My son got hit by a guy that could not park. My son had to park his truck. Yeah, I saw that. I saw your comment on Pale Rider's deal there. Dennis Smith, been to the Kearney drop yard like 4 times in the last 7 days. Still got to go again tomorrow. Kearney. Oh, yeah, you're the Creek driver, aren't you? Maybe? I don't know. Jersey City. Oh, okay. I missed what Oxy Man Rides Again said. I've seen that name before. What did he say? But I figured, I don't know if I'll do a live Saturday Night Live thing like I've been doing. Yukon, what's up? Good to see you. So I thought I'd do one tonight because I'm kind of bored. I was watching The Walking Dead, but I kind of got bored with that. It's the second time I've been through the series. But oh, drama. Yeah, I've made a couple of smart aleck remarks against a certain person, but that's all. Oh, you got him. All right, cool. So, Yukon, where are you at today? Are you at home? Boogie Nights is out on Netflix. Huh, I'll have to try that. I don't think I've seen that. Well, I know I haven't seen it. But at the house. Well, good. Good on you, man. Now, my GoPro's working great. I've got my stick. So these GoPros, they come with these, like, it's like a display that's on top of the box and it clips in there, right? And it's just a cheap, like, this is how you display the camera. But I took that and I clipped it onto my dash. And it is working awesome. And so let's see here. Someone take care of that. You guys are slacking, man. So, but anyways, it works really good. Here, I'll show you guys. I don't know if it'll show up or not. It's kind of hard to see in the dark there. But, see, I've got it clipped. See right there? And these lips on these 680s are awesome. That's how I got my GPS clipped on here. Sorry for the dark, guys, but yeah, it works really good. So I set it up, got it at the right angle by using the phone app, and that's gotten some really good road footage. I've got a lot of Atlanta traffic jam stuff. Does that GoPro have a Bluetooth? It says Bluetooth on the box, but it's more of a Wi-Fi kind of thing. But it works just like Bluetooth. So Stu Stewart says Breaking Bad 9 times, all 62 episodes. Learn something new every time. Yeah, my wife said she wanted me to wait to watch that one until she can watch it with me. So I haven't watched Breaking Bad yet. However, I've done Sons of Anarchy twice. So what's up, Mike? Mentor. Never seen anybody clip their GoPro to the rear of their trailer shooting behind you. Yeah, that was Tex, man. He was pretty creative. If you look carefully on that video, and what Sun Chaser or Trucker Steve's talking about is Tex mounted his GoPro on the back of his trailer to get some shots of me driving behind him. And if you look, it was in one of them waterproof cases. It's the old style GoPro, and it was starting to fog. So it's got a little bit of a fog effect going in, but he kept it, which is cool. I like that shot. But yeah, the Wi-Fi works really good. I think the more expensive ones are Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Big Rich says Sons of Anarchy is the business. Yeah, I was kind of surprised I liked it. But like from the first season, man, I was hooked. I'm not much of a motorcycle guy, but by the end of the show, I wanted to go out and buy a Harley. My wife wants to get a Harley, but there are other things we got to buy first. So the other bit of news is my check engine light's off. It's been off for last night. I parked at the Atlanta OC. I had a headlight out, changed the headlight. I looked down and I realized that my check engine light wasn't on anymore. Knock on wood. Kaislin, what's up? I go all SOA on my Ducati. Big Rick says, love motorcycles. A lot of my buddies are in support charters for the Hells Angels. Yeah, that's all my Periscope feed is now. Is I've got several friends that have all bought motorcycles. Hell, there's a friend of mine. He's bought 3 motorcycles in the last 6 months. 2 of them are Harleys. And then yeah, so that's about the majority of my Periscope updates. Is like I've got like 5 friends. They all have Harleys, and they're talking about what they're doing their Harleys, and they're getting wind therapy and all that stuff, which is cool. But Trucker Steve, there's no progress on the plates. I haven't been home to be able to deal with that. Still dealing with that. And like I said, I'm not in a hurry because of the snag that Jeff's hitting with the insurance. Ducati 996 equals beast. See that? I have no idea what you're talking about. But so what's your thoughts on the Cali convoy? Are you talking about the protest for the ELD? Aren't they an aspect of Black and Blue or something? I guess I really don't. I haven't read up a whole lot about it. I know there's this chick named Jessica that I'm friends with on Facebook, and she was talking about it. It's like in Bakersfield or something. You just posted a video about it. I'll have to check it out. I did watch Carolina Ghost, his video about the Black and Blue. Dennis says that's a protest, not a convoy. That is good. That's good. Not good. That's correct, because convoys are actually illegal because of the old days. That's how people protest, or drivers protested. Man, I'm behind here. I'd like to get a Harley Davidson, says Daniel. I'm not much into the crotch rocket motorcycles. I'd rather cruise than. Yeah, man, those crotch rockets are dangerous, man. Dangerous. It's weird. I say I blocked David Adam, but it says I can't unblock him. Not sure how to repair that one. Well, Daniel's back, so you're good. I just posted a video about it. Yeah, I'll have to check out the video. Kaislin says, Daniel, you get a Vulcan instead of a Harley, less problems, and it's relaxing. I've seen some good Honda Shadows. They look kind of cool. See, I can appreciate a good looking motorcycle. I just don't know if I ever want to ride one. Kaislin Yukon says, Kaislin, I have a 900 Monster, basically same but cheaper. Dennis Smith says, I keep my bike, not getting rid of it, only get to ride it about 10 times a year now. Captain Crunch says he owns a Honda Shadow. Parts of it, Big Rich says parts of it were convoys. They blocked traffic a few times, but from what I saw, it was mostly bobtail tractors and cruising. Yeah, the last time they did that in Washington, D.C., that's kind of how it was. They just ran the loop round and round. I know that Kevin Rutherford and Gunny have been at it. It's kind of given like bad publicity for truckers in a way. But Carolina Ghost had a really good video about it. And then there's that chick that spray painted her truck and flipping the camera off and all that. See, stuff like that kind of brings down the whole deal there. So, but I agree with Cannell on the you can't hold the country hostage to get what you want. That's not going to work. That's not going to get us sympathy. But I think it's all good now, TJ. It's all good. It makes it look uncivilized. Let's face it, we are all going to be judged by the actions of a few. Yeah, that's what I said on Carolina's Ghost video too. It's like at GATS, you had the truck that had the middle finger, and it's like, you have to explain that to your kids, if they see the truck going down the road. I noticed that the truck was at GATS, but not, or GBATS, but not the trailer. By the way, speaking of GBATS, my GBATS video is doing pretty good. Clyde, what's up, man? Didn't see you sneak in here. I like their platform, says Warren Price, but I agree with Big Rich. People speaking for it and some of the tactics just aren't going to help us with the general public. Here's the thing with the E-Log was a big discussion on the CB and all the traffic jams. I think I've heard more talking on the CB in the last 2 days than I have all week. Everybody was like, oh man, when I'm on E-Logs, I'll just shut down on the shoulder, or stuff like this, man. If we all shut down on the shoulder or in the road because we're out of our brake, blah, blah, it's like, basically, some of the people's arguments is that the government doesn't need to, to regulate this. The government already regulates it. Jeffrey, I heard you weren't feeling good today. Daniel says he's changed his name to Pale Rider TV Jr. We need support from the non-trucking public if we're going to get anywhere. Awareness, yeah, Big Rich. That's the thing. And, in the whole, oh, do you realize that after December 18th, that driver that you're behind is driving tired because of a box? That doesn't help our situation. How about the fact that the flaws in the hours of service will be brought out by the E-Logs, and then we can work on fixing that. So, Alaskan Cowboy comes running sideways. I'm here. Glad to see you, Mr. Cowboy. Jeffrey, you gotta do a live video on all the Halloween decorations. Last year, Jeffrey showed his Halloween decorations on Periscope. He has probably $2,000 invested in Halloween decorations. Like the local Halloween store is loving Jeffrey and his family. Yeah, Rich says promise hours of service. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Warren says you're right about that. It's not so much the E-Logs as this hours of service regs. You're right. Don't ships, planes, and trains have some form of ELDs? I don't know. Government is regulating it because we lost all common sense and whoop and drive, in my opinion. Yeah, Clyde, I've already discussed that about how we kind of run it on ourselves. Captain Crunch says, I hope we don't change hours of service. I don't want to work more. I'll quit if that happens. Right, you got all these guys, oh, we need a 16-hour day, and we need to get rid of the 70. And I'm like, well, then the shippers will start taking advantage. See, here's the thing, man. The hours of service was changed. That's my pre-assignment. I'm going to turn this down for it. Well, it won't let me turn down. Hours of service were brought in because the shippers were making guys sit 2 or 3 days for loads and then expecting them there overnight. And with the E-Logs, it's supposed to even cut that even more. The place that I picked up today in Macon was awesome. It was wide open, plenty of room, not very busy. It was cool. And I asked the lady, I said, hey, for future reference, I've got plenty of hours, but
next available time and location
can we spend the night here? And she's like, no. And so I wrote that down, but it's a shame because there's plenty of room. There's a bathroom there, Warren says, yes, airplanes, ships, and trains do. So if we want to be professionals to be thought of like pilots, we better accept the technology. Right. Jeffrey says, the wife said you got something to say about her Halloween stuff. I dig the Halloween stuff. I saw this at Walmart the other day. It was a dinosaur skeleton that with the eyes light up. And I guess it's animated. And I kind of wanted to get it, but it was pricey. It was like $119. And we don't put Halloween decorations up because we live on a dead-end street. So it's like pointless, unless we want to look cool. Pale Rider says 12 on, 12 off. There you go. Mess on that. The 11 hours fine. That 14-hour clock's what hurts us. Not be able to stop it, because of traffic. Dude, if you live around Atlanta, I can see why you're going to hate e-logs. Because I drove 261 miles today. And I probably used up let's see what I use up here. I was 8 hours on duty and I only drove 251 miles. That's ridiculous. So that's where the e-logs hurts, So if you run out of time and parking on the side of the road, it ain't the box's fault. It's your lack of trip planning that puts you on the side of the road. I've done paper and I've done ELD, says Alaskan Cowboy. Here's the thing. Here's what a lot of people don't understand, okay? If you run out of hours, you just drive you just get to the first point that you can stop, a safe haven. See, the DOT, and they've told me this, the DOT would rather see you go over your hours than to have a falsification. Falsification says to them that you don't know what's true or not. But if you get pulled over or pulled in a weigh station, you're like 20 minutes over your time, they're going to go, hey, what gives? Well, I had a traffic jam in Atlanta and I was trying to get to this truck stop and I ran out of time, but this is the truck stop I'm trying to get to. And they're going to be like, okay. And then the company, I think Schneider, they kind of slap your wrist the first time. And, if you're over your hours within 15 minutes, they don't even call you. So yeah, if you run out of hours, you don't shut down on the side of the road. That's stupid. You just go into, dude, one time I picked up a load in the Everglades in Florida. And the first place that I could park was an hour and a half north on 95. And the first rest area I could get to. And you know what? No one said anything. I made a phone call and that was it. Delete drive line, have everything marked as on duty, 14-hour clock, no 70. That might be cool. Everything marked as on duty. That's what day cab guys do. Alaskan Cowboy says, I never ran out of time and I had to sit down on an exit or side of the road. I've had to do the exits before, not with Schneider, but when I was with Transland. And it's not because I really ran out of time, it's because there was nowhere to park. So that's the thing. In a way that with e-logs, you kind of lose 1 hour. You don't get 11 hours, you get 10, because you want to drive 10 and then the next hour you want to leave room to find parking. But see, that's why I do a lot of loads where I know the area, because that way I know where I can park. You know where all the hiding spots are. I could park at this Walmart, it's literally across the street, little stuff like that. And here at the Big Orange, the advantage we got is all the OCs and the drop lots that we can park at in all the major cities. There's no way that I would have parked in Atlanta had I not had the OC. I would have parked where I'm at now and then gone south, and I would have lost a little bit of time. So, Siraj, what's up? Jeffrey retracted his message. Clyde says, I don't miss paper, I like my 9 and 9 time now. Yeah. I hate Atlanta traffic. Daniel, you're preaching to the choir here, man. It's worse than it used to be. And you know, the funny thing is there's a lot of construction that's finished. Like all the stuff on 675 to 75, I was like, wow, this is nice. It's wide open. All the stuff over there by Macon. Big Rich says, I live between Charlotte and South Carolina border, about 4 hours from Atlanta. I used to go through there every now and then. Alaskan says, the Canadian Hours service is the bomb. Your shift clock stops when you stop, and you have. Bye, Jeffrey. Jeffrey says, later, everyone. My son has run out of hours. He now finds the closest parking. Yeah, you kind of have to... I like to think that I'm pretty decent at load planning. Trip planning, I guess, would be a better term. I always have plan A, B, and C on parking. Like for example, I knew I had the 318, the 328, the 326, and then the 345 up by 75. If I couldn't find parking here. And I could have made it, I know I would have made it to Monteagle. And Monteagle, now the pilot in Monteagle would be full, but the Chinese restaurant wouldn't be. There's parking in there. So I had no worries on parking tonight. Mr. Freight Shaker Gary, how's it going? Latex, good to see you, sir. I've never been audited on e-logs, truly, says Big Rich. Steve Warren says, Steve, my CB's having problems. It's an old Uniden. I need a new one. Do you have any recommendations? I think you're a CB guy. I like the Cobra 29s are like probably the best place to start. You get a good Cobra 29 peaked in tune with a good antenna, and that'll do it. If you don't need all the fancy echo and all that BS, a Cobra 29 is pretty cool. I own several, and that's what I got now. I've got a Cobra 29 and I've got a Wilson antenna. And I've got it peaked in tune, so it's pushing about 30 watts, I think, last time I checked. So that's what I would do. Make sure it's the radio, not the antenna, because you can have the best radio in the world, but if you got a crappy antenna, you'll burn the radio up. You can have a little tiny radio with a good antenna, and you're going to talk better. At one time, I had a Connex in the Peterbilt, but I think the way it was grounded and everything, I kind of fried it, and I kind of wish I still had that radio because I liked it. So that's about the extent of my knowledge on CBs. And a good microphone, like I usually have an static, but I got a Cobra. It seems to be doing all right. So Big Risk says when they see the electronic log sign, they don't even bother poking around. That's been my experience. Yeah, Big Rich, but here's what they do. They don't look at the log books now, but they look at your equipment. Transland saw a decrease of logbook violations, but we saw an increase in inspections. So, you know, think about this. DOT's got to make their money. See, here's the thing. The DOT is losing a lot of money over this e-log thing. Everybody says, oh, it's a money grab. No, it's not, because, I mean, maybe for the e-log companies, but as far as like the DOT, they love logbook violations because that gets them a lot of money. And now they won't be able to do that. Are you drinking Voss water? No, I'm drinking Perrier. So it helps fill me up. Alaskan Cowboy says I run 9 hours a day yet. You all know we actually only have 13 and a half hours in a day. You stop for that 32 minutes break, 30-minute break, but your 14-hour clock don't stop. So we actually have 13 and a half in a day. Yeah, in Alaska, and I think you're a Snyder Company guy, right? If I remember correctly. Isn't Voss in the tubular bottle? That's Avian or something like that. Get down with the Fiji myself. I like Fiji, but it's pricey. Daniel says, I'm at the Petro in San Antonio. I've been there before. Fuji water is good stuff, says Alaskan Cowboy. Celtic Barb, I just checked. My son made his delivery in Vermont. He came by here today. Oh yeah, I forgot you live up northeast. TJ is at home in Hurricane, Utah. Mr. Freight Shaker Gary, you need secret parking spot tips for Atlanta, or did you get parked, or did you park before or after it? Back when I used to run Atlanta all the time, I used to park basically the 318. When it was a Wilco Hess, there was always parking here, no matter what time of night, and you can improvise pretty easily. Now I just go to the OC. Like yesterday, I busted my butt to get to the Atlanta OC. And it was like an obstacle course, man. It's like the last 5 miles took me 20 minutes to do because there was a cab over jackknife that was wrecked right before you got to the exit to get to the OC. And I literally got to the Atlanta OC with like 25 minutes left on my 11. So I used to have tips and tricks and hiding spots in Dallas, but I don't pay attention to that anymore because I got the Dallas OC. Indy, I've got the Indy OC. And before that, I had Landstar's yard. Very rare. I don't think I've ever spent the night at the truck stop there in Indianapolis. St. Louis, we got Edwardsville. So that's one of the perks of the Big Orange is I got plenty of parking. Celtic Barb says, I got a Cherokee CB base and a Galaxy and a Bearcat. Oh, that's cool. Two are in repairs. Local repair shop screwed them up and went out of business. Yeah, you gotta watch. Some of these repair shops are butchers. Maybe I should have someone look at it. I do like my old CB. Yeah, Warren, depends on what area you run. If you run Missouri, there's a guy on I-44 at exit 61 at Hood's Truck Stop, Wednesday through Saturday. He's real thorough. He fixed a couple of my radios. And then the guy that used to be in Oklahoma City, I forget his name, Stryker, he's retired, and there's a guy named Cowboy that works. He's done some work on my radio. He's the one that peaked and tuned the one I got now. That's off of exit 140 by the TA. Other than that, I don't know where the others are. There's one in Memphis, West Memphis. There's a guy that works out of Joplin called Hillbilly, and another one called, I forget his name. There's two that work out of Joplin. I've never worked with them though. Celtic Bark says, I let my son take my mom's Uniden. You know, Uniden had a booth in Gats, and they had a CB radio that also had a police scanner on it, or emergency scanner on it. I wanted that thing, but they wanted like $500 for that thing. There's nothing in my truck worth $500 at all. Nothing. I can't imagine putting that radio in the truck. It's all about your coax and antenna set to the radio, and your SWR are as low as they can get, says Alaskan Cowboy. Yeah, the antenna is the most important part. Warren says, I have an old Uniden President Washington at home that I play with. Old bass unit has a hell of a range and great sound. Ryan Clark, good evening, everyone. Henry Bob, ELD is in facial recognition that is coming from the UN. It's a global agenda, and you will all learn soon enough. I believe that. You know, when I pulled up, it's funny you mentioned that, Henry. If you're on I-70 going eastbound, that first scale you come to in Indiana, right there at the state line. When I drove through when you first enter it, there was a flash of light. They took your picture. You know, and then a lot of the super coupes that they've built in Oklahoma now have like all these sensors and cameras around them. And then there's if you guys notice the ones in Missouri, they've added like those x-ray machines and stuff like that. Alaskan says, I run a Stryker 655 HP. I'd like to get a Stryker, either a Stryker or another Connex. Hey James, what's up? Washington State goes through every log on E-Log, says Captain Crunch. Henry Bob says Fiji has no added fluoride, it's good. Now Warren says, now that Warren Buffett owns Flying J, we will get gold-plated sinks and shower heads. Yeah, right. You know, I challenge Mr. Buffett or his higher-ups to go into a typical pilot and see if they're happy with the results. Because I would be ashamed if that was my business. And any of the truck stops. Christian Trucker did a video talking about this mom and pop place he went into, and he said that if it's dirty in there, if they looks like they don't care, he doesn't buy anything from them. That's kind of how we need to speak. You know, if the place is a crap hole, man, don't buy anything in there. I mean, yeah, you have to buy fuel, but Big Rich is talking to Henry. He says, I can see your concern, Henry, but I don't think there's some global conspiracy. Alaskan says, I get the green light every time except for Oregon and Washington. Other than my pumpkin, it's just rolling on by as I wave the Scalemaster. Oklahoma's pulled me in a few times. The scale here in Forsyth on 75, the pre-pass sign is like covered up, and they were bringing every truck in. But they've always been like that. You know, if the pre-pass was working, it was always a red light. But yeah, I usually get green lights. Later, TJ. Stu asks, are Schneider IC rates still pretty high, or have they leveled off or falling back some? It depends, Stu. I think everything's kind of on the rise in general because of the fuel surcharge has gone up a little bit. The short haul stuff is not as good, but the long haul stuff is paying better. Used to be the other way around, except for a few select loads. There's a load, the load I just booked that you guys heard me get my load thing on the Qualcomm is a good paying load that's going from St. Louis to Joplin. Nice and light, and the rate I'm getting on this load that I'm taking to Missouri is kind of average. But I can't seem to break a certain dollar amount. I'm going to adjust my APU. I'll be right back, guys. Don't go away. All right, I'm back. Tablet fell. Sorry, I had to adjust the AC. It kept blowing and then stopped blowing. The other trucker, James, at Pilot, Money, Illinois, dropping hook, not loaded yet. Open appointment tomorrow. It's still good unless it's not loaded by morning, then they'll pull it off of me. James, watch your truck in Moni. Or no, I'm thinking of Minooka. Yeah, Moni's not bad, but well, no, Moni. Yeah, I know where Moni is. Yeah, you're on the Pilot. Happy at the Petro. But that Pilot in Minooka, that place is too tight, man. I've seen way too many trucks hitting there. Did you ever, DQ Patrick says, did you ever run short haul for Transland? Yeah, but not officially. You know, they have two divisions. Well, at that time they had 4. They had the container, short haul, long haul, and then the flatbed. Now they don't have the container division anymore. And when things got really kind of slow in the trucking world, there wasn't much difference between the short haul and long haul guys, except for what they were getting paid per mile. I was going through some family issues, and I told my dispatcher that I wanted to be put on the short haul division. And he said, well, instead of you losing your truck and me losing a good driver, I'll just run you short haul. And it kind of helped save a few things. So, but see, long haul at Transland's really not that bad. You're still home every other weekend, pretty much. So, but yeah, the short haul is kind of harder to make money because, you know, back in the paper log days, you can make good money running short haul because the majority of the customers were dropping hook, and a majority of them let you spend the night at the yard, so, or at the customer or whatever. So my trainer was a short haul guy, and we booked. Long haul is a little bit easier because you pretty much go to Pennsylvania and back, or you go to Salt Lake and back, or you go to California and back. That's it. Mr. Gary says TA there in Georgia has CB shop in it. That guy is a real good. Okay, cool. That guy's real good. Okay, Warren says thanks for locations. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this video up. There's no reason to take it down. Alaska says if you're on I-10 in Phoenix, exit 137, Danny's Big Rig Resort. Okay, yeah, I've heard about them. Zaner Needlebender is the one you want to talk to. Big Rich says my pistol is worth 600 and my phone is worth 1,000. The pistol protects my assets. Sunchase says he's been to the CB shop at Danny's. They're pretty good. I'll have to remember that. Not that I go out to Arizona every now and then. I mean, not that often, but Arizona's doing the same thing as well as California with bypass picture and scanners and cameras past the exit ramp of scales. Everybody subscribe to Daniel Adami. Pale Rider is not Texas father. Tex is is actually in Springfield. He's in my hometown right now. Everybody subscribe to Alaskan Cowboy. He's another one I've stumbled upon. Mike Mentor, how much is Snyder charging for insurance? Which insurance? I'll give you the rundown right now. Are you talking about all the truck insurances? So I'll give you that rundown right now. I got the low board right here, or the accelerate. Okay, let's go to home. Settlement statements. All right. Okay. Mike, are you answering? Bobtail. Yukon wants his MTV. Yukon, you know, I'll get to the insurance thing here in a second. Yukon, at one time on cable, there was MTV1, MTV2, MTVX, and MTV Classic. And Classic and MTVX was awesome. MTVX was all just heavy stuff. But they did away with all those subchannels. Big Rich is funny. Thomas Wilson says, hey Snorler, me and the wife just finished candlelight dinner and music was Bad Company and Eagles. Have a great weekend. Good deal, Thomas. Go to vivo.com, Yukon. That's where you get all your MTV fix. Alright, guys. Heading to Plainview, Texas. Anyone along the way? I'm at Lake Havasaw Pilot now for a 10-hour. So anybody wants to hang out with Alaskan Cowboy, he's between Arizona and Plainview, Texas. Mike, my brother, works for a guy out of Hibbing, I believe that's the name. He gets all the loads out of some foundry all the time. Tractor insurance. Okay, I'll get to the insurance here thing. I just want to catch up on the comments here. Okay, so my non-trucking liability is $8.05 a week. My physical damage, that's the bobtail, is $52 a week. Now that varies depending on the value of your truck. In fact, at the end of the year, or in February, I'm going to call Snyder and say, hey, let's do a readjustment, and it'll probably be even less than that. My occupational is $33.15, and then I've got physical damage buyback, which is $4.46 a week. A bunch of different like buybacks that are like $3 or $4 or $2 a week. And my registration and plates and permits is $32.89 a week. So that's what I pay, guys. My fixed costs minus fuel comes out to $138 a week. So that's the key, man. It doesn't matter if you gross $10,000 a week and you got $9,000 in expenses. That's not going to work. You want to have the most net revenue, and that's keeping your overhead down by having a non-Snyder Finance truck and, you know, getting good fuel mileage. My fixed costs are way less than your average Snyder IC. So Yukon has insurance on his fists. That doesn't sound too bad, says Warren, for insurance, or am I wrong? I'm a company guy right now, and I have done some research on owner-operator. You know, to be honest with you, I think it's cheaper than it was at Landstar. Landstar, it was kind of hard to track because they would take out some insurances on monthly and then would take out some weekly. Some expenses were taken out monthly, and then other expenses were taken out bi-weekly, and then other expenses were taken out weekly, and they were always different weeks. Like, they were different each month, and that was annoying. It's like I had trouble keeping track, and it's probably by design so they can nickel and dime you. You know, that's shebang. But yeah, that's one of the things I like about Schneider's. Everything's kind of cut and dry. The only thing that varies is my fuel. Everything else is the same. And then we have $1,000 escrow that we get $50 a week taken out until it reaches $1,000, and then you can use that to pay your $22.90. So when that gets depleted, then you're paying $50 a week until you're back up to $1,000. And we get that money back when you leave. Mike says, it sounds pretty dang good. Got insurance quote today for $18,000 for my own insurance. Warren says, are you Schneider IC now? Okay, you just answered my question. I'm a new subscriber. Yeah, Warren, I was at Landstar, and now I'm a Schneider owner-operator. They call us owner-operators now, but we all still use the term IC. Come December, it'll be 2 years. Man, I like it here. If I leave Schneider, it will be because I'm going to the next step. So, Yukon says 18,000 is high even for starting out. You could do better. Yeah, make sure you get different coats and stuff. 18,000 does sound kind of high. Big Rish says my truck is in Joplin right now. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's funny. I was in the O show right there outside of Crowder College. And I've got a friend of mine, well, kind of an acquaintance that still drives over there. 12 to 14 is good for starting out, says Yukon. That's about right. I think that's the coach, Jeff. Jeffrey Light can really kind of give a lot of information about the insurance stuff because he's been researching it. He's got a good insurance company now, and then he got Oida's insurance. I would look into Oida. So Sunchase says I thought I've heard about 12K starting out. That's about the average. So if you count my truck payment, if you divide that by 4 and my fixed costs, my payments on everything is about $500 a month or a week. So the first $500 is after that, everything else is golden. I'm gonna have a pretty good week this week. The load I booked for Sunday to Monday is pretty good, and it'll be nice and light, and I'll deliver it in Joplin, and I should have enough time. It all depends on how far I get tomorrow. If I book and haul butt tomorrow, I'll be good to go. Warren asks, what kind of truck do you have? I have a Kenworth T680. If you go through my videos on my channel, you can see it. It's green. It kind of stands out among the Schneider pumpkins. So the Hulk. Actually, yeah, we call it the mean green. It's kind of what somebody nicknamed it that, and that's kind of what I've been sticking with. Would you recommend a T680 to run team? Yes. 680 is definitely. There's a lot of good creature comforts in a 680, and the sleeper controls. You've got like 12 volts back there. You've got a USB charger back there. You can control the locks on the doors from back there. You could sit up straight unless you're like 6'5" and not hit your head on the bunk, the top bunk. The table, if you don't get the chair that swivels, which I don't have the chair that swivels, but the table swivels around, so you can sit on your bed and use the table. It's got a mount for the TV, so it's out of the way. So I love this truck. I love the 680. The only other truck I would take over a 680 is the new Volvos that are coming out, and a Volvo 780. But I've never driven a Volvo 780. I've driven a 670. But this is more of a team friendlier truck than a Volvo 670. Now 780, that's a different story. Warren says, I like the T680. How's maintenance been on it? It hasn't been too bad. The only thing, Warren, that is kind of on is that if you get one with the PACCAR engine, you have to take it to the dealerships for engine work. That's the only downside. Other than that, PACCAR gets good fuel mileage. And if you take care of the DPF system, you don't have as many problems as you would with the Freightliners. Alaskan says, I think you put too many numbers in there. If you're talking about 1130 Alaskan Cowboy, yeah, that's really good for a company driver. But if you're making $11,300 take home a week, then I need to go work where you're at. That's pretty good for the company side there. Big Rich says, my Freightliner's Pro Red. What's a good name, Jesus? Oh, Big Red works. Big Rich drives Big Red. Mike says, I got it through my mortgage company. The quote, just trying to get all the info on all ways I could go. Probably going to Schneider, just getting info. Yeah, Mike, that's what I pay. And then if you get a Schneider finance truck, your bobtail's going to be a little bit higher, but not much. Big Rich says, I'm 6'5", so yeah, my head's all up on that top bunk. Yeah. Sun Chaser, looking to buy a truck and run team with my brother, just trying to sign on the truck. I would, for a good team truck, the T680 Kenworth or the Volvo 780 is what I would choose. Those are the team trucks. I wouldn't recommend a 660 or a 670. The Peterbilt 579s are sorry, I'm watching this truck back up. I don't know where he's going. The 579s, they're not a good team truck. And look at this guy. He's like backing right directly into me. Okay. He changed direction. I don't know what he was doing. See, I was afraid you thought there was a spot here, but there's not. There's not enough width. So that's crazy. So those are the trucks. And the Peterbilt 587. That's like the 387, but with better headlights. Those are good team trucks. Stu asks, what's your miles per gallon deadheading at 65 miles per hour? If I'm empty, easily above 8 at 65 miles an hour. Right now, what am I showing right now? Here, I'll prove it to you guys. Well, right now it's showing 7.8. That was stop and go traffic. There you go, 7.8. Now it's doing a lot of 70 mile per hour. Well, look at this guy again. Check him out. Oh, I already had it. It's like there's nowhere to park over here. I have no idea what J.R. Shiggle's doing. He's just kind of going back and forth. I don't know what he's doing. I'm about to bright this dude here in a second. Okay, I know what he's doing. That's a truck. That's a parking spot he's trying to get into. And since it's on the end, he's trying to park forward in it. You can't just like turn around and back up to those line of trucks there. I don't get it. So if someone parks on his right side, he'll be trapped. And he's being careful. He doesn't want to come back too far. So I get that, but man, there's like way easier place. Okay, he's giving up the ghost now. Jeez, man, it's parking has been kind of a thing this week, man. No one knows how to park their trucks anymore. What's up with that? The training is getting horrible out here. It's just kind of annoying. Mike says you're looking at trucks on Tuesday. Mike, let me give you a warning. Buying a truck is nothing like buying a vehicle, like buying a personal vehicle. It is nothing like it. There's hardly any haggle room. You're going to get a high percentage on your interest rate because you're a first-time buyer. And there's a lot of, like, I've done it twice and I'm still kind of like lost. I couldn't do a how-to video on how it's done. But J.R. Schagel just went through the CAT scale and is now trying to park elsewhere. Sunchaser asks, how's the legroom driving the T680? I'm 6'2" and in Cascadia. I'm not very comfortable. I don't know, Sunchaser. I'm 6 foot even. I've got a pretty decent gut, so, and I've got plenty of room. I'm comfortable in this truck. I've never driven a Cascadia other than a day cab for a day just to deliver a load when I was a company guy. But I've sat in Cascadias and they seem alright, but I think you'll be more comfortable in a 680. Alaskan Cowboy, come Sunday, I'll have 3,200 miles for the week. That's good. Big Rich says I'm 6'5" and have no problems with the legroom in the 680. Daniel says, well, I'm going to bed, Snorler. Good night. Good night, everyone. Stay safe out there. Everybody go to Daniel Adami's channel and check him out. 28. Pale Rider, are you leaving too? Oh no, he's telling you later. Okay. Big John, what's up? Pulling into a spot is stupid when you have plenty of spots to back into. I agree. Siraj says, can you buy a truck direct from the factory? Yes and no. If you got the money, you can go to a dealership and then have them custom order the truck. I got a friend of mine that did that through the Joplin MHC Kenworth dealer. And it usually takes about 3 or 4 months. You pick out all the options you want, and then, but you got to go through the dealer. That's as far as I know. Have you ever heard of solar roadways? No. Oh wait, yeah, I have, Celtic Barb. Actually, I did hear about that. That'll never happen. We can't even fix the roads we got now. 680 seats go further back than a freight shaker. I'm 6 foot and I'm always trying to go back more but can't. Yeah, 680 is way better than a Freightliner. Henry Bob says, thanks for all you do, Snowlord. You're welcome. Sunchaser says, I do the same thing every day. I'm always trying to push it back. Heard about them in Europe. Seems like a fantastic concept, says Big Rich. Alright guys, this video's gone on long enough. I don't want Buck Wild, you know, calling me names. I'm just kidding, Buck Wild, if you're still watching. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been fun. You've helped some boredom. And I'm now tired enough. I'm going to go to bed. I got to get up at 4 in the morning because I think I shut down at 6. I forgot to look at my logbook when it was on. But you guys take it easy. 28. See ya. You're welcome, you guys. And Jason Miller, what's up? You're late. 28, guys.